you're joining us from. I am super excited to, oh, my video is not on. Okay, so I'm super excited to have everyone here. It's another amazing edition of First Thursdays. I would like to know, please tell me, how's your day going? Are you having an amazing day? Or you just want the day to be over already? Which is it? Just let me know in the comment section how your day is going. Are you excited to learn from someone today on another edition of First Thursday? Let's know. Use an emoji to describe your day, okay? I'm going to be in the comment section and see. Oh, someone is saying, okay. So while that is ongoing, I'm just going to briefly talk about African food change makers. I know that some of us who are here are members or have an idea of who we are at African food change makers. Okay, so for those who don't know a thing about who we are or what we do, we are a non-for-profit organization committed to nourishing Africa. And we believe that the small and medium-sized enterprises are the lifeblood of the food ecosystem in Africa. Now, we understand that these enterprises are driven by visionary, dynamic, and innovative entrepreneurs who operate primarily as producers, aggregators, distributors, and technology providers, chefs, cooks, consultants, and all. And so we like to call them the change makers. We also understand that they could be faced with the devastating impact of climate change, global and local risk. And so what we want to do, or what we try to do at African Food Change Makers, is to provide funding, access to funding, training, visibility, market linkages, and a community of support to successfully scale your business. Now, through the African Food Change Makers Hub, we enable entrepreneurs to start and scale resilient and sustainable agribusinesses that nourish Africa and the world. So your success is our goal here at African Food Change Makers. Now you're wondering, what is our mission? What is our vision? What drives us? Every day we come to work. Every day we have virtual programs. Our mission is to enable African entrepreneurs to start and scale resilient and sustainable agribusinesses that feed Africa and the world by providing training, funding opportunities, exposure, trade linkages, and fostering a vibrant community of change makers. Now, if you're already a change maker, just put it in the comment section. I am already a member of the African Food Change Makers. Okay, and our vision is 1 million successful and sustainable African agribusiness that are transforming the food ecosystem and are recognized and respected across the globe. Now, we're going to talk briefly about some of the opportunities we have designed, some of the opportunities that we provide for you here at the African Food Change Makers Hub. So we have the funding, the capacity building and training. We have events, online courses and more. So talking about the financial support, now all of this information are what you stand to gain when you become a member. So if you know someone who is supposed to be a member of this great community and the person is not, they are actually missing out a whole lot. Okay, so under the financial support, we have the Canadian Fund for Local Initiatives 2024. Okay, and you can see that the deadline for this grant is 10th of May 2024. We all know the importance or the major role that money has to play in building your business. Money plays a very huge role. So you want to take advantage of this financial support opportunities that we are providing on our hub. We have the Orange Social Venture Prize, and we can see that the deadline for this is on the 26th of May. And the Agripreneur Prize 2024 as well. So moving on to capacity building, we have the 2024 SDG Pioneer Program. The deadline for this is 17th of May 2024. We have Cultivating New Frontiers in Agriculture. We have JAP Agripreneur Acceleration Program. All these are capacity building that is targeted at building what you already know, and also to add more to help you succeed in your agribusiness. Okay, and of course, we have events. Now, we all know how networking plays a crucial role in skyrocketing your business from point A to point B. You cannot be in the house, you need to step out. So some of the events that we have put together to help you build a resilient and sustainable agribusiness is we have Catalyzing Change Week. And for this event, we have some of our amazing members who are going to be on the spotlight, who are going to be on the stage talking about this amazing program, which is coming up on the 10th of May, 2024. We also have the Agribusiness Sales Program to South Africa, the Growing to Africa 2024. Now, talking about trainings and workshops, we have programs that are put together for free. We have some that you have to pay a token for. So one of that is we have We Lead Foods 2024, Decent Walk Through Nature-Based Solutions, and Growth and Investment Program. Now, we have a lot and loads of these programs when you visit the African Food Changemakers Hub. Okay, so I want you to take advantage of that as we proceed to the reason why we are here today. Now, before we bring the speaker, if you know somebody who is not here and is meant to be here, I want you to take a minute and share the link to the person. Let them know that we are talking about something very insightful and impactful. You don't want anybody to miss out on this program. Okay? So take a minute and do that. While we wait for you to share the link and come back, we're just going to take our time to read the speaker's bio and engage on the chat. Okay, so moving on to the speaker's bio for today. We have Samaila Iliya. I just hope I didn't murder the name. Okay, so he is the founder of Anuma Global Nigerian. He hails from Kaduna State, Nigeria. He's a dedicated professional with expertise in global administration, armed with a bachelor's degree from Bayero University, Kano. He has excelled in various roles from managerial positions in technology firms to property management and export operations. His commitment to continuous improvement is evident through his active participation in additional qualifications and training programs, including the Transforming Nigerian Youth Program, Building Resilience Against Climate and Environmental Shocks, Scaling Export Program, CEF Business Management Training, and active engagement in agricultural-related programs. Iliya's passion for community development and research is showcased through his grassroots socio-economic development and organizational efficiency studies. Recognized for his contribution, he engages in civic duties, volunteers as a mentor, and advocates for positive change in Nigerian youths. Now, are we excited to have Samaila Iliya on the call today as our speaker? If you are, please put in the comment section a virtual clap. Let him know that he's appreciated and he's loved. Let's do a virtual clap in the comment section. Thank you so much, Samaila. Over to you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good afternoon.
All right. That's perfect. Okay, let me quickly share my slide. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to share my slide. So it's taking a moment.
That's fine. So Nelson John is saying excited to have you here, sir. Isaac is saying excited to have you here, sir. Please let's keep it going. Today is going to be a very interesting, insightful topic.
Right. Everything on it now.
Would you want me to share the slide on from my end?
Okay, if you can do that, I would appreciate. Yes, if you can do that, I would appreciate.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen now. I think all right. I think that's perfect. All right. All right. Good afternoon once more. I think we can start now, right? Yes. So our topic for discussion today is titled Addressing the Recent Ginger Blight Epidemic, Stakeholder Awareness, Farmer Support, and Alleviation Effort. So we'll be basically looking at that today, and God helping us, we'll discuss extensively on it. So can you go to the next slide, please? Yes. So when we talk about ginger, Nigeria holds a distinction of being one of the largest producers of ginger in Africa. Aside being one of the largest producers in Africa, we also are ranked second globally. That is, we are also ranked second in terms of production globally after India and subsequently China. So our production so far is around the ton about 760 metric tons. That's as 2022. So in essence, what we are saying here is that Nigeria holds the distinction of being one of the largest producers of ginger. You find ginger in different homes. If you go to Western nation countries, you find them using ginger for so many things. So the secret to that is that Nigeria happens to be one of the producers of that ginger. So not just being one of the producers in Africa, we also hold the distinction of being the second globally. So aside production too, we are also engaged in export. Nigeria happens to be ranked third in terms of exportation. That's after China and India. China happens to hold the first position in terms of exportation, followed by India, and Nigeria follows subsequently. So globally, we are known for production and also exportation. Although the shares we have in terms of the global market, we have a tone of about 12 million US dollar in terms of our export. So what we gain globally in the ginger market, we have about 12 million US dollars from our export. Although the expensive ginger market, which is about 3 billion US dollar, is also a minute to what we gain. So indicating that we still have more to do in terms of our exportation and as well production. The global market is being estimated is projected to reach about 4.8 billion subsequently by 2027. So what we are saying here is that Nigeria is actually a ginger producing country. Because of our production now, it has given us an edge over other nations, whereby we are occupying the second position in terms of production, and subsequently we follow in terms of exportation, we occupy the third position. So our export, that's our total production so far as of 2022, we are able to produce about 760,000 metric tons. That's actually a very good one so far, but we still have more to do in terms of production. Next slide, please. Yes, so let's go globally now. When we talk about ginger, ginger happens to grow in a warm, humid environment. In other words, the ginger production, that is, ginger grew in an environment that is warm and also humid. That's a mixed microclimatic environment. So Nigeria happens to have such climatic condition that actually enables ginger to grow. Although ginger actually requires rainfall before plantation, and as well in terms of growing, it actually requires consistent rainfall. So for us to grow ginger, we often at times need rainfall at the beginning. And having gotten that rainfall, we need a continual rainfall for our ginger to yield. Although the global production grows about 12.8% annually, that's from 2015 to 2019, and whereby we peak about 16.11% in terms of our production from 2014 to 2016. So far, that's why the increase in production in 2017 to 2019, there was a slight decline in terms of our global production due to the fact that some farmers were unable to engage or harvest more in terms of production. So, and going by 2019, we were able to produce about 4,081,374 metric tons, whereby India, which happens to be one of the largest producer of ginger, have about 44% in terms of production, whereby they produce about 1,788 tons, followed by Nigeria, which will also occupy 17%, whereby we produce about 609,238 tons, and China and other countries have the remaining percent. So in essence, what we are saying here is that that's why being one of the largest producers in Africa and also holding the second position in terms of global production now. We only have about 70% of the total production, where India have about 44% of the total production. So in essence, India here is occupying a bigger portion in terms of production, leaving Nigeria with just 17%, which signifies that we still have a lot to do. Although our production so far have been growing, but 17% is not something that we should just be okay with, but rather we should try to have a bigger portion. Looking at India having about 44%, that's the triple our own production. And China and other countries such as Peru and other countries have about 39%. So comparing the percentage in terms of our production, we are still left behind, although we follow India slightly with about 17%. So our production here actually needs to be improved. So we'll get to that as time continues. Let's move to the next slide, please. Yes, so let's talk about ginger production in Nigeria. So the production of ginger in Nigeria has been on upward trajectory since 2019. That is, so far our production has been on an increase since 2019, whereby we have about 648 metric tons to over 760 metric tons in 2022. That is, one of the reasons that have caused this increase in terms of production is the high demand of ginger from the European market. Although Nigerian ginger is known for several qualities, which has to do with our potency, our high concentration of oil oleurosin, our pepperish nature of our ginger. So because of these qualities now, it has made the European markets to demand our ginger. And of course, it's a plus to the farmers now, whereby the demand of ginger have actually increased our price to about 125%, thereby motivating farmers, making farmers to allocate more land for production. That is, it's actually an opportunity for us in the market, whereby we have to do more production because there's demand for our ginger, and thereby, by so doing now, we also increase our global market share of ginger. So in terms of production, actually, Nigeria is doing well, and actually, we also need to improve. And because of how the demand of our ginger now, it has made the European market to demand more of our ginger. When we are comparing our production with India, actually, India holds a very bigger portion. But our quality, the quality of our ginger have made the European market to actually demand so much of our ginger, thereby increasing our production. So we are actually improving in terms of production. Looking at the diagram here, you find out from 2019, our production has been on an increase down to 2020, 2021, down to 2022. So although 2023 happens to be something else, which we'll subsequently be discussing that after now. So let's go to the next slide, please. Next slide. Can you hear me? Yes. So let's talk about the ginger value chain. So there are several key players in the ginger value chain, which ranges from farmers down to the wholesaler, village merchant, commission agent, processor, and exporter. So we'll be looking at categorically how this value chain actually interplay. Although the Nigerian ginger value chain involves several individuals, just like I mentioned, where we have the smallholders farmers, where their duty basically they are into production. They grow the ginger, they take care of the ginger, they produce the ginger, and also sell the ginger to the village merchant or down to the processor. So the processor now begin to do some value addition whereby they do some cleaning, the bagging and other quality check, and also shift it down to the exporter. So the exporter do the due diligence check, make sure that it's up to quality, up to international standard, and move it down to the international market. So the ginger value chain is actually a big value chain whereby you can choose to play in any of them. You can choose to be the farmer whereby what your duty is to produce the ginger and also sell to the wholesale or the village merchant or commission agent or to the processor as well. You can also sell directly to the exporter. So it depends on where you choose to actually play in the value chain. We also have an angle whereby we have cooperative society. They actually purchase ginger from the farmers. They sell to the wholesale market, that's the local village market, where retailers come and buy and also sell domestically. Most of the times, this happens in terms of the fresh ginger, because the ginger we have the fresh and we also have the dry. Then the dry basically is more of the international markets where we have to export to China, we export to UK, we export to Netherlands and several European countries. So most of our exportation measure on dry split ginger. Well, our fresh ginger, of course, we also export fresh ginger, but that's actually little compared to the dry split ginger. But domestically, we can also choose to play in the fresh ginger value chain where we sell within here, and also from there, the other member or other stakeholder actually pick up from there and move on to the next stage of it. Let's move to the next slide, please. Trying to beat up my time because we'll have to discuss a lot. Yes. So the global ginger market actually is very big. As of 2023 rather, that's last year now, our total global share of ginger is about 4.16 billion, indicating a very big market for ginger farmers. That is, if we choose to play in this market alone, then we'll have a lot of money to get from here, whereby we generate forex, we increase our GDP in terms of exportation. So looking at our global ginger market now, is actually an opportunity where everybody can be a player. And aside that too, it has been projected to reach about 6.29 billion naira by 2030, indicating a very big market for everyone. Although we are known that Nigeria, China, and other countries are actually in the production of ginger, they actually hold a bigger portion in terms of production. That is actually not enough. We still have a long way to go if we must actually gain this global share, whereby we have to engage in a lot of farming activities and also try to earn from this global share of the global market. Let's move to the next slide, please. Yes, so we'll be discussing here more extensively because this is where the topic actually falls on. So the 2023 ginger fungi pandemic. Of course, Nigeria have been doing well from years back in terms of production. And for that, it has actually earned us our second position in terms of global production, and subsequently the third place in terms of exportation. So, and one of the reasons, like I mentioned earlier, that have made our ginger stand out or distinct from the international market is because of the qualities that our ginger actually possess compared to other countries, whereby our ginger is known to have a good aroma, a good smell. It's also known to have this pungency, spicy nature of our ginger have make it stand out even in the global market. And also the high concentration of oil olorosin, because ginger are also used for so many things, whereby in the cosmetics, you find them using ginger, in the pharmaceutical, you find them using ginger, in medicine and several other things, ginger is also used. Unlike here, we don't do more of ginger, but in the European market, they demand so much of ginger because they are more conscious of their health and they use this ginger for so many of their dishes and food and several other things. So because of that now, it has made the demand of ginger to go high over the years, whereby it has also increased our production locally, whereby farmers find ginger lucrative for them to venture in because the price have actually increased. And these have made farmers to actually allocate more lands for ginger production. So coming down to 2023, which was last year, there's actually an outbreak of a fungal pathogen that's affected about 95% of the yield in Kaduna entirely. That is, this pathogen, this outbreak of fungal disease have affected about 95% of our yield in Southern Kaduna. And also not just Southern Kaduna, we have Benue, we have Plateau, we have Nasarawa, we have the FCT. All these states are actually involved in the production of ginger, but Kaduna have a higher portion in terms of production. That was why the fungal disease effect happens to be more in Kaduna State. So although locally we are known that Kaduna State actually produce a huge number of ginger. So the fungal affected about 250 hectares of farmland. That's 2,500 hectares of farmland, which was estimated to cost about 10 billion across all the local government in Southern Kaduna. There are other research that it was not just 10 billions, but it's reaching about 20 billion in terms of the loss that farmers were accounting. So 2023 was actually a bad year for ginger farmers because this disease came and farmers were unprepared. The discovering of disease was actually late. So farmers could have little or nothing to do, and a lot of farmers lost thousands and millions of naira in terms of in their production. And thereby, for this disease now, it will actually reduce our production. Thereby, we may not stand to be in the top ginger producing country if things are not being put in place. So slightly, we may be losing that position in terms of global ranking. So basically, we're going to look at the impact of this ginger disease to farmers and also to the country entirely. So the fungal attack on ginger farming will have a both short and medium-term impact. So in terms of short impact, that is, farmer may actually have, that is, the impact will actually affect farmers' income and their output. So while in the medium impact, it may actually make farmers to shift to other crops like maize and rice. So thereby making us lose our ranking in terms of global production and exportation. So for us to actually mitigate this, there will be a multifaceted approach to actually address this, which we'll be looking at shortly, how we can address this and what are those things that have been put in place to see that we actually address this outbreak of fungal disease. Let's go to the next slide, please. Yes, so now we'll be looking at how we can actually mitigate this, the way forward. How do we go about this? Of course, we are known for being one of the largest producers of ginger in Africa, not just in Africa. Globally, we also happen to be the second in terms of production and also being third in terms of exportation after China and India. So with the outbreak of this fungal disease now, which have affected farmers and also ginger as well, it will actually, will have a decline in terms of our production. And for us to mitigate that, how do we go about that? There are several ways we can actually work on how to address this issue. One, we also look at identification and management. So how do we do that? First, we must identify what exactly is the problem. Yes, we are all aware that it's actually a fungal pathogen that was responsible for this infestation. So we must have a clear understanding of this enemy. So I see this as an enemy to farmer. So we must have a good study of how this can come to be and also how we can also actually control and manage it. So once we are able to identify the enemy that actually affected our farmland, that affected our production, then we'll be able to know how to manage and actually push it from there. So the next one is what? Disease and management guidelines. Yes, disease and management guideline. That is, we must know how to manage disease and also know how to manage our farm in order to what, to avoid a subsequent occurrence of these menaces that have affected our farm, whereby farmers are encouraged to do crop rotation, such as also utilizing disease-resistant seed. That's the seedling that actually are disease resistance. So farmers are encouraged to utilize that, because there are ongoing research from ABU and other organizations on how to come up with actually a different variety of ginger that can be resistant to this blight, that can be resistant to all these diseases that affected our farmland. So this is the second method. The next one is research and development. Of course, in terms of research, we have been ranked low, and that have actually affected our production. For us to know what exactly, if not for now, that most farmers are actually calling out government and also private organizations to engage in research so that we can actually curtail these menaces. So if we can actually work on more on research, it will enable us know how to mitigate this and also how to improve our ginger and also remain in that global ranking of being the second largest of ginger production. So intervention so far, yes, okay. Yes, financial support and capacity building. All right, can you go back to the next slide, please? Yes, so the next one is capacity building. Yes, because this is also a call for ginger farmer to be trained on how to go about their farming. Because if you look at down here, most ginger farmers lack training. That is, we'll be utilizing the old pattern of our production, and that have actually reduced our input in terms of production. So if there's enough capacity building whereby farmers are being trained, farmers are being educated on some of the new technology, some of the happenings in the ginger value chain and also agriculture entirely, it will actually go a long way in helping us reduce the impact of these fungal diseases that affected our farmland. Another one is financial support. Of course, the ginger blight have actually caused so much to our farmers, whereby some persons, as we speak, don't have even seedling to plant for this year season, which is a call for government and individuals to come up to our aid and support farmers in terms of production for them to be able to produce. They can come with types of grant, giving them finance and as well helping them in sourcing out for seedling so as they can actually help in doing production this time around, because most farmers will not be able to do that without the help of government. So the next one we also have the environmental consideration. So when we talk about environmental consideration, it talks about ensuring that agricultural practices are being sustained. That is, we use a sustainable way of farming whereby it will not affect our land, it will not affect our water. So if we have this environmental farming consideration, it will actually help in aiding our production and also helping curtail any disease that may affect our farmland. So let's move to the next slide, please. Yes, intervention so far. Yes, several interventions are coming up, and the federal government has taken this upon himself to see how they can actually go about this. This was actually a move whereby they actually produce or they set up a task force, that's the GBEC task force, to the office of the vice president to see how they can actually issue and ensure that we maintain our position in terms of our global production. So what the task force is saddled to do is to understand the humanitarian, economic, and social ramifications of the epidemic and provide mitigating and proactive solutions for present and future ginger production. So this is one of the objectives of this task force. They are to make sure that they look into this whole matter and see how they can actually come in so as they can help and also preserve our future ginger production. The second one is that they are to resolve the ginger blight epidemic through interagency collaboration and sharing of expert knowledge. So thereby calling all experts in the agricultural value chain, research institutions to come together and collaborate and see how they can actually come out with a solution to this blight. Because as we speak now, there are several research ongoing, but we don't really have a solution to it, a remedy so far. So this year production will just be trial and error. So we'll be doing production, but we're not sure if it will happen. Although there are a lot of speculation on what have been the cause, what have been the reason, but we don't have a unanimously agreed reason that actually caused this fungal disease, because research is still ongoing and we are still waiting for the response from those research institutes. And another one is that to ensure that technologies and expertise are available to facilitate ginger production. So these are some of the objectives that were given to this task force that was initiated or that was inaugurated by the federal government to see how they can actually come in and also help our ginger farmers so as we can still maintain our global ranking in terms of production. So I think next, that's the end, hopefully. Thank you. So I just have to rush so we could do more question and answer because I was just giving just a few minutes. So I don't know if you have any question, you can ask even as we discuss together. So it's going to be more of a conversation, a discussion now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samaila. Thank you. That was really, really impactful. Thank you so much. So it's time for questions and answer. If you have any question you want to ask, please kindly indicate by raising your hand and you can unmute and ask the question. Okay, Ruby. Ruby, please unmute. Let's start with Ruby first. Ruby, please go ahead to unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm unmuted now. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ruby Ross. I'm from CHC Agritech Africa. We are actually harnessing the role of microbiome technology or the utilization of beneficial microorganisms for sustainable agriculture as a climate smart solution as well. The speaker really spoke very well. Thank you for the inputs. And this is a great platform because we've been really knowing about this epidemic that is happening in the ginger, because we in CHE Agritech, apart from the microbiome tech, we also have a market for exports for ginger. So we are interested in buying ginger from the farmers, and that ginger should be like international standards too. To be able to do that, is there any room in this platform, in the African Changemakers platform, that we could demonstrate or get a portion, because this blight is a fungal attack, and our technology has a fungi called trichoderma that can combat the fungal, pathogenic fungal that is in the system. And it's more sustainable and more eco-friendly to use as an option in combating this, because the microbes has the antagonistic way of eliminating the blights on a natural, on a biological control way. So is there a platform where we can train the farmers on ginger and demonstrate also this so that we will know whether we can prefer a solution immediately for this epidemic, because it's going to expand whether we like it or not. And no matter how much chemicals we will use, it is not conducive for the environment and for the ginger farming industry per se. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Okay. It seems the question was directed to African food chain maker, right? Was it directed to me? Hello, can you hear you? Can you hear me?
Hi, Ruby. Can you hear me? Yes, Samaila, we can hear you. Okay, Ruby, to answer your question, I think it would be best we talk about this, we take this offline and have a further conversation about how we can, work together and make this happen. Hello, Ruby. Does that sound like a plan? Hi, Ruby, please confirm that you can hear me. Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So it seems Ruby has a bad network, or let's move on to Ifeyinwa Oga. Hello, Ifeyinwa.
You
Can you
muted
unmute?
me. I couldn't speak because you muted me.
So sorry about that. Please go
Okay.
ahead with your question.
Okay, I just wanted to find out to the um speaker, what actually caused this fungi infestation? Because this is my first time of actually hearing this for Nigerian ginger. And what is the hope for us recovering from this? Because as a spice formulator and producer, it really affected our production in the sense that we have even halted production at the moment because we don't have ginger, which forms as the base for most of our spices to produce. And then, trying to get ginger now from Kaduna and all these places is like very, very expensive. So how are things going to look up? What is the way forward? Like you said, are things going to look up? Are things going to improve? What are the farmers doing to curb this menace that actually affected their ginger? And I really wanted to know where these pathogens are actually coming from. Was it like something that was introduced, maybe a ginger that was, I just want to know because it's my first time of hearing this, so because this will actually help us to be aware that this kind of a thing can actually occur in the future and farmers should definitely prepare for it because I'm so sure if they were aware of this, they should have actually prepared themselves for the possible outcome. I'm done.
Oh, thank you, Samaila. Are you on the call? Hello?
I'm done with my question. I don't know if you heard me.
Ifeyinwa, we can hear you, yes. I need the speaker to attend to the question. Hello, Samaila, are you on call? Hello? Hello, Samaila. So sorry, everyone. I think the speaker has a slight glitch in network. Hello, Samaila, can you hear us? Okay, so we're just going to move to the next agenda for today's program. Asa Hazo, I see your hand is up and you have a question. If you do not mind, could you please pen down your question again? And when we have Samilia back online, he would attend to the question. And Ruby, please kindly share us your email address.
All right, sorry. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, sorry, I didn't get Ruby very well. Can she ask the question again?
Okay, so Ruby was asking a question related to African food change makers, right? But if anyone had a question for you, if anyone, if you don't mind, please could you take the question again?
Okay, my question was what actually caused this infestation? And is it the first time, like looking like it's the first time it's happening in Nigeria in a long while? And what is really the way forward? As a spice producer and a formulator, this ginger problem or actually infestation on ginger actually affected our production a lot. We've halted production for some spices and we're able to produce the main ones that are really demand, and it has really increased our cost of production. So my question is, what is the way forward? What are the farmers doing to improve the yield? And is this problem that we had in 2023, is it going to extend to the whole of 2024? If it's not going to extend to 2024, what are things looking up? What is the way forward? What actually caused the infestation? Because I actually think if farmers were very much aware of this possible infestation, maybe it would have given them time to prepare for it. But I actually think maybe they were taken unawares. What actually caused this ginger pathogens?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yes, I was actually expecting this question. That's why I didn't actually put it as part of my slide. So, so far, most farmers can't categorically say this is actually the cause. Reason being that the blight actually came in a time that we farmers, because I'm also in the value chain as well, we are not actually aware of this, and it actually came unexpectedly because farmers have grown their ginger and ginger was doing actually fine. Not until around August, we begin to discover that the leaf are being withered away, are being drying, and the thing is getting rotten in the farm. So for us to actually get a solution, it was already late. And effort to get exactly what could have been the cause were quite difficult because there were a lot of speculation on it could be the chemical, because those that actually apply fertilizer were thinking that it was actually fertilizer that actually caused it. Some that apply herbicide were actually thinking that the herbicide was so harsh to the ginger that actually caused it. And the other opinion that it was actually an airborne disease, some are saying that it's actually a soil-borne disease. So as we speak now, we can't authoritatively come and say this is actually the cause because we are unable to identify the cause even at this time. Although a lot of research institutes have actually come and they have took samples of ginger that was during the production, that was last year, and they have gone back to their lab making research and finding to see if they can come out with possibly what actually caused the blight and also come out with a remedy. So what we're actually doing now, even as we're expecting, there were different speculations, but we can't just say this is exactly the cause. We don't know the cause yet. Actually, we don't know the cause. Although other farmers are saying that this same blight is not actually the first time. It happened some years back, but it was not so much compared to this year. They were saying that it's going to happen, it's happening, but farmers did not actually look at it very deeply. So they ignore it, thinking that it's just a normal stuff, and not until this last year that it happened so badly that affected a lot of farmers. About 2,500 farmers, hectares of farmlands were affected. Farmers, if you go to some farm, you actually have nothing to even harvest. You get nothing because it was so bad that we don't even know what to do. So what I'm saying in essence here is that we can't authoritatively say this is actually the cause because research is still undergoing. Even the task force that the federal government inaugurated are still taking research and they have not come out with a report yet. But other organizations have gone far, like the ABU Research Institute are working on how to come out with a ginger-resistant, a disease-resistant ginger, that's seedling, that can withstand the effects of the blight and actually grow. So that is actually still going on, but for now, we can't actually say this is the cause. And even as this year, we are actually preparing to farm because ginger season begins now, that's around April and May. So we've already put all things in order to see how we produce, but it's just going to be a try and error because we don't know if the disease will still affect this year or it has actually gone. So we don't know. So we're just going to try. And another issue is that most farmers don't even have the seedling to actually farm this year. So production will be very low this year. If I thought the disease did not actually continue this year, but production will be very low because farmers are trying to recover from the loss and also see how they can actually move on. So I think that's what we have for now. But if there are any subsequent research on it, on the cause, probably we will try to see how we communicate to farmers by creating awareness and subsequently picking up from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Samaila. Thank you so much. So moving on to the next person who has a question, Asa Hazel. Please can you unmute and ask your question?
Good evening, everyone. Afternoon, rather. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, Asa, we can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for this insightful moment, Mr. Samaila. Mine is it's not just a question. I just want to add to the question asked recently, the last one that asked about the origin. What has it done so far? In addition to what Mr. Sam has said, one thing about this disease is weather driven. The climate change is changing a lot of things. So this is one of the challenge of the changing weather. So because the weather of last year, it actually favored the growth and spread of that fungi. That's what brought about that particular disease last year. Recently, some years back, the same kind of disease happened with sweet potato. With the cocoyam rather. The cocoyam don't stay longer again. Their shelf life reduces due to the same kind of disease. It's actually weather that actually causes it. So the chances of the disease now occurring this year, as rightly said, is like 50-50. If the weather favor their growth and development, for sure, we're expecting it. But if the weather didn't favor their multiplication and development, they may not occur, because the disease actually, as rightly said, has been occurring over years, but it goes unreported. So what we're actually advocating now is for a reporting system whereby farmers can be able to communicate any single sign of a disease so that they can take appropriate action. But farmers actually sometimes, because the symptoms of the disease, it look like a waterlogged symptoms. Some people mistaking it for the place is too watery, so the gingers are dying, not knowing that it's a disease. So I just want to add that its occurrence this year depends on the weather and climate. If it favors their growth and development, for sure, we are going to see it. And other improved seed I talk about with ABU and other things, they are coming out to see whether they can bring a seed that can able to withstand, even if it occur again, those seeds are resistant for that plant, for that disease rather. That's what I want to just say though. Thank you.
Yes, that's a very good one, Asa. Asa is also a ginger farmer. We are also here together in Southern Kaduna. So that's a very good one too. Someone just asked, sorry, I don't know if I should respond to that. Samir on the chat, that can microcropping be part of the problem? Some are of the view that microcropping could be part of the problem actually. But the problem here is that we don't have a scientific proof so far that say this is actually the problem. But to some extent, some individuals and farmers are of the view that microcropping is also part of the problem. But just like Asa said, also the weather too. So we are having several different views from different farmers, although all this so far are just what they think it is. But we are still waiting and expecting a research that report much on it, so we can actually work on that. So Samir, I think microcropping could actually be part of it, but we don't have a authoritative answer to your question, but there are speculation that it could be one of the cause of the blight. Thank you.
Okay, Davon, please unmute and ask your question.
Thank you to give me some speak. I'm Mr. Binsamou Bavon. It's the first time for me to take place this platform or to this meeting. A pleasure is mine to take place this meeting. My question is that Why do you think that it's good to advance ginger to some products or some agriculture, such as like I say, my colleague that some disease and some the price of market.
This spread.
Can you hear me?
catch
The
me?
network is, yes, I didn't get your question. Can you ask your question again?
Please.
Hello,
Please,
Bayvon.
go
Please,
ahead.
could you take the question again?
Yes, I said that I ask, my question is to know that what is very good for to advance some agriculture to produce ginger, such as we're recording some disease and some the price of a market. Because I said that to produce ginger is very difficult, but why is important to advance some agriculture to produce this plant or this vegetable? Thank you.
Well, I think I'm finding it difficult to understand his question, but I think, I don't know, Cassandra, do you get his question?
Hi, Samaila. Okay, so Bayvon, I would like to suggest that please type the question. Just type the question and yes, because we are having a hard time trying to get what you are asking. So if you could please type the question in the chat box, it's easy for us to just read and give answers to what you want to clarify. So that being said, we're moving on to Ali Madagi. Please unmute and ask your question. Hello, Bayvon, did you get that?
Hello.
Yes, Alice, over to you. Please let's
Okay.
ask our
All right.
question
Thank
briefly.
you. Samaila, thank you so much for the lecture, though I came in a bit late. One of the questions I would have loved to ask was your location, but you mentioned Kaduna State. I make use of ginger as one of the spices for my tamba with spices. Actually, right now, as we're speaking, I don't have ginger. I am in Kaduna. I even sent people to the village, Oi, and some other villages to help me see if they can get dry ginger for me. Unfortunately, they don't even have, even the farmers, the local people don't have ginger. Please, do you people have some ginger with you? And if yes, I'm sorry to ask, is it hygienically dried? Because we know how they dry ginger back home here by the road, in the sun, on the mountain, just like they leave it there anyhow. Animals will trade, will march on it and everything. If you have ginger, please, is it hygienically dried? And now I would like to get in touch with you, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, yes. Actually, at the moment, it's actually difficult getting ginger due to the outbreak of the epidemic that actually happened last year, which affected most of our farmland. So that's why you actually say you send out people to find out in Koi, Kachia, axes, and
they don't.
So,
they don't have
and if at all you find any ginger now, it will be very expensive because a ton of ginger is being sold for about 5.2 million as we speak now. So we can actually get ginger, but the difficulty of getting it and the high cost attached to it is something that may be very difficult for you to actually buy. So, and most of our practice, people have several ways of sun drying their ginger. Because we don't have a machine for drying our ginger, we mostly utilize the sun. So most people actually utilize the mountain. Most often at times, that one is still okay. And other people utilize, they actually put on some what do you say? They dry it in some leather like tarpaulin where they open in an open space and spread their ginger there. So this is some of the common practice, and of course they are hygienic because they are
They are not,
no, to
Samaila,
some
they are
extent.
not. You know, you leave it on the mountain, you go home, you leave it there, snakes might come, they may lick it, lizards, any kind of animal may come, you know, march on it. Because I am from there. I know what we do.
Yeah, that's
Okro,
true.
I know now.
Yeah,
I'm talking from experience now. So,
it's
you know,
true.
leaving it
Yeah,
there for 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 week on the mountain by the roadside. Babu,
yes.
it's not
Yeah,
hygienically
it's true. The issue is
prepared.
that most
No.
we don't have a mechanized way of drying. Yes,
Dehydrator.
most
I
people
think
don't
you people
utilize
don't
it.
have dehydrators.
Yes. And why? Because of how it is quite expensive, and also how many hydrator will you get to actually sun the edge for you to dry a huge amount of ginger. So some person actually utilize the roof, the top roof of the house, whereby they spread their ginger. So we have different practice of how they sun dry this ginger. But just like I spread out earlier, the mountain and the roof and as well the tarpaulin, these are some of the common practice around here. So for now, this is actually how we do it, except maybe with time, we'll also see how we can actually improve from using the hydrator. But
Best practices.
yes,
Yeah.
best practices. And also power, electricity could also be another issue as well, using the dehydrator. So we have a long way to go, but with time, we'll actually be improving even as we continue with our production. But for now, actually, this is the common practice around Southern Kaduna. We mostly use the sun, and where we utilize the mountain, we utilize the top roof, and so many other means of supplying our ginger. So just like you said, it's actually not hygienic, but
yeah. But then what can we do for the meantime? Yeah. Thank you.
for the men,
And
yes,
for your information, Blue Camel, around Pijo, they have the solar dryers, and they are wonderful, and the color comes out wonderfully beautiful. Yes,
wow,
very fresh,
that's
just like the fresh ginger, but dried, and the smell, everything. Yes, solar dehydrators. You don't need energy. You don't need just solar. Yeah, Blue Camel by Pijo Kaduna. Thank you very much. Samaila,
that's a
please,
very
can I
good one.
have your number?
Okay, all right. So
I don't
think
need a lot, just about maybe 20 measures or so to make up for my products. Thank you. Thank you.
all right, thank you.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
for
Thank
that,
you.
Alice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so over to you, Mohammed. Please briefly ask your question, and there will be a brief response to your question as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful session all through. Thank you, Ilya, on that. I want to say it's been very insightful what you've shared with us today. Not a question per se, but just a contribution. I don't know if I'm permitted to, add.
Go ahead, Mohammed. Go ahead.
All right. So, basically, you've mentioned a lot of things, and one or two things caught my attention. Now, as a country, we produce close to 700,000 metric tons annually for this commodity. It speaks a whole lot. It shows that just with this commodity alone, we can do a whole lot as to generating FX in terms of exportation, even in terms of selling it locally, because we still have a lot of Chinese guys, Indians coming to the country to buy this commodity. And recall that we happen to have one of the best, if not the best, in the world for ginger. So, but as a country, I think the government is taking it too lightly. One, I want to say the government of Kaduna State, because ginger is largely produced in Kaduna State, though we have Nasarawa to producing. We also have maybe Niger State and some part of Niger State also using this same So, but then the government is taking it too lightly. Little or nothing is being done. This has been happening. It's over a year now. In fact, by the time we carry out research for the year and we look at what has been exported as to agro commodities, we'll see that for the last season, ginger performed poorly because little or nothing was being able to be exported out of the country. The commodity is not competitive in the international market due to this ginger infestation that has happened. So there needs to be this is a call to action for all stakeholders involved, right from the farmers, the government institution, research institute, and everyone involved. Now the research institute are trying to do their own best in trying to know what has even happened to the product as to this fungi infestation. But then I think there needs to be funding because you can't carry out research without funding. Where is the funding? What is IAR doing? Institute of Agricultural Research we have in Kaduna State. We have IITA. What are they doing? Though I understand that they have their own mandates, they have the product that they deal on. But then I think it's time for all of these, research bodies to come together and put heads together, ranging from the crop scientists, the agronomists, even economists as well, to come together and see reasons as to what has happened to our ginger. This is a commodity that is generating lots of income for the country. So if this is happening and then the government is not doing anything about it, then there's a huge problem. We are seeing what is happening regarding dollar to naira in the economy today. So it's a time for action. We need all stakeholders to come on board to see that this issue is resolved as soon as possible. Else, we are going to go into the next season and then we'll have little to nothing to consume locally and as well even export out of the country. So this is just my own little contribution from my own end, and I'm going to stop here. Thank you.
That's a very
Thank
good
you,
one, Mohammed.
Mohammed.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed, for the contribution. So, Otuayo, over to you. Please unmute and ask your question.
All right, thank you, Samaila. Thank you for the presentation. So my question is around talking about the challenges and what happened in the ginger market 2023. What's the response, the global response of these producers, or sorry, not the producer, the processors in the international market? Really, if Nigeria is like the top three in terms of export, and then we are saying this coming year our production will probably be very, very low. It's going to affect the international market, the demand and supply itself. So are there responses from this international market concerning the situation of the Nigerian data market in terms of involvement, policies, or research that would help their demand in the coming session? That's my question.
Okay, that's a very good one. I think so far, in response to your question, I think so far we've not heard anything from the international community, although some farmers are of the view, or some stakeholders are of the view that this ginger blight, although it has not don't have any proof yet, but they are of the view that it was actually induced by some of our competitors that we are competing with. So they are of the view that this was actually introduced by them, and it's actually it has been there for long, but it actually manifested now. So, and I would like to go with that either, because we don't have backing to that. But if at all it is true, that means we are doing nothing and we've not been able to actually control what comes in and actually what goes out from our nation. So basically, so far, individuals and farmers are still calling on the international community and also ginger processor and buyer to actually come into it. And as we speak, I think the Netherlands too, which happens to be one of our major buyers, are also looking into this, and they are working on how to collaborate with the federal government through the ginger task force that was inaugurated by the president, the vice president rather, some few months back. So they are looking on how they can actually come in. And aside that too, we also have our processor here. We have Ministry of Agriculture and different stakeholders within the country that are actually working on how to come up with the solution. So I think aside from the Netherlands, I don't think we have any other nation that is actually, I think, actually working on this. But for now, we'll also be looking and also expecting from them as well, where we do our own domestically here. So I think that's what we can see for now.
Recording in progress.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Samaila.
Yes.
Thank you so
So
much. I'm sorry, could you say something?
that I can see for now.
Okay. Thank you, Oduanya, for the question, and thank you, Samaila. This was quite insightful, interesting, and engaging. I can see a whole lot of questions and comments in the chat box. Thank you, Samaila, for doing such an awesome job on today's session. So this virtual program, this virtual event is one of the many programs we put together for our entrepreneurs. Why? Because we are focused on building resilient and sustainable agribusinesses for every small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. So you don't want to miss out on any program that we have or any events that we put together for you. So shortly, we are going to be calling on the membership officer, Nosa Obano, to talk more about the membership drive. Hello, Nosa.
Thank you, Cassandra. Okay, am I audible enough? Can you guys confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I've actually gotten enough knowledge from this discussion on ginger, and during my observation, I got to write down Ruby's request. I think she asked AFC a question, but I was not able to respond because I was not the one moderating. So, and Ruby, yes, we have a platform to encourage the training of ginger farmers in Nigeria, but that will, because most of what we do for now is virtual, so we could discuss further on how we can make it a physical workshop, maybe have a call to discuss that and look for how we can make it visible to implement. Because having, from this discussion, a lot of training would help to reduce the ongoing epidemic in the ginger value chain. So we could have some discussions around that to know how we could implement that. A workshop will be good for our Nigerian entrepreneurs. That being said, I want to also thank the speaker, Samaila, for your great contribution and insights towards this value chain of ginger. I've learned a lot, and I hope all others on this call has also learned from your discussion and your information. I would start this discussion with the membership drive. I can see some of our members here already, so I'm glad that our discussion on our first Thursday, people joining our members, but there are some unfamiliar faces also on the call, and I can tell that these are not our members. So I would encourage that if you are a change maker, just drop an emoji on the chat to indicate that you are a change maker and you are also benefiting from our membership community. This is one of the benefits we offer to our entrepreneurs who are change makers. So thank you, Cassandra, once again. And for our community is open to entrepreneurs across the value chain. I can see some people already dropping that information. Yeah. So what we do now is that we urge those that are not members of our community to sign up by clicking on the link that is being dropped in the group chat, in the chat, so they can also benefit from other membership benefits we offer. And as shown on this slide, we offer some benefits to entrepreneurs from giving them access to scale their businesses, to prepare them to enter new African and global market as well. We also offer referrals to funding, speaking, and exhibition opportunities for entrepreneurs. We have an access to vibrant community of members from across the whole world, across the continent rather. So for now, our membership community is a growing community of over 3,000 entrepreneurs from 42 African countries, and we intend to reach the milestone of 1 million successful entrepreneurs by the year 2050. So that is an optimistic plan, and we intend to grow this community as well. Also, we offer entrepreneurs access to global market linkages, visibility by enhancing their businesses and promoting the social media engagement of our entrepreneurs. We also offer them exclusive access to networking events and potential investor event as well. And lastly, we offer them a resource hub. On our website, we have a designated data page, opportunity page, where entrepreneurs can get access to trending opportunities, from funding opportunities to trainings to capacity building opportunities and to networking events. And for those of us that joined the call earlier, Cassandra took us through the trending opportunities that are closing soon in the agri space, and it will be great if we can benefit from those opportunities by visiting the website and navigating to our opportunities page, where you can access other opportunities in the agri-food space. Next slide, please. So having talked about the benefits we offer to our entrepreneurs, I would also like to talk about how we can move from a potential member to a bona fide member of our community. The first is to visit the hub, the AFC website, and another is to always follow us on social media. On our social media, we send out content, we send out recruitment content, we send out information on how you can become a member of our community. So once you click on the website to our hub, you get to the landing page where you see all our activities, from our members marketplace to our landing into our community, to our programs, to our opportunities. What you have to do is just navigate to the login session, and under the login icon, there's a drop down. The drop down is the first drop down you see is to log in, and the second one is to join the community. The first login icon is for those who are already members of the community. So that is applicable to entrepreneurs that are already members of our community and are registered members rather. And the other one for join the community is for a potential member who haven't gone through the membership, the website, has read a lot about our organization and is interested in joining the community and also benefiting from our membership benefits. So once you click on that, join the community, it takes you directly to another page where you will be requested to answer some questions about your agribusiness and your personal information as well. So you just have less than 3 minutes to fill the form by inputting your information, the business information, social media links, and once you click on the submit button, you will be a notification will pop up that your registration is in progress and will be verified upon 24 to 48 hours, because it will be reviewed by the admin hand. And once we reviewed from our admin hand to verify your information that you inputted, your business name, your email, and we see that it's aligned with what we are looking for, we would click the verify button from our hand. And upon that also, you receive a confirmation email that takes you directly to your dashboard, where you can also navigate and connect with other entrepreneurs and join the membership social media groups, from the WhatsApp community to the Telegram community to the Facebook and LinkedIn community as well. All those links will be on your designated membership dashboard. So I've told you how to join the community, but before you become a member, there are 3 criteria you look out for to verify your membership registration. The first is that you must own an agribusiness, or you either own or you also work as a top management in the agribusiness that you work for. Second is the agribusiness that you work for must be in existence for at least 6 months prior to when you register to become a member of our community. The last one is to have a social media presence or a website. Why this is not mandatory, it is just necessary to have a social media presence because we all know how the world is going digital, and once your business has a social media presence, you are likely to get or reach more founders of opportunities quicker than those that don't have a social media presence, because your activities have been shown and the impact you are making and also being exposed to the world. So you are contributing to the impact of the agri-SMEs in the global continent as well. So, and it makes it easy for us when you're shortlisting or referring entrepreneurs for potential opportunities. The fastest way we can go through it is to check your social media presence. And when you see that you're active in the social media space, we get likely to share opportunities with you faster than when it gives us time to start searching for your business and we don't have a social media presence. So those are the criteria for our membership community. Before I go, I would like to talk about the marketplace, because I noticed that not every of our member is utilizing the membership benefits which you have on your dashboard. So as a member and you have a product or a service that you are into and you like to showcase to your client or external audience, you should be using the membership marketplace now, because that is where the visibility you need for your products are being showcased. So the marketplace is just a place on our website where our entrepreneurs' products and services are being showcased. The first is that your product picture is also there, the details about the products, the location where they can get the products, or a link to where they can access your website or a contact, and also the prices of your products, the tags. Is it a spice? Is it a beverage? Is it a commodity? Or any details you want to include on your products, about your products, is what you do from your end. So for you to be able to utilize the membership marketplace, what you have to do is to log in to your membership dashboard and navigate to your members' products. That is where you'll be able to upload your products, your product details, and your prices, and the links to where an external person or a potential buyer or client can reach out to you. So once you click on the submit icon, after you filled in your product details and your product information, we get a notification from the admin end that this member has recently just uploaded his or her product on the marketplace. So we verify the information from our end and also approve your submission. So once it has been approved from our end, it automatically gets viewed on the AFC marketplace, which is on the website. So anyone can view the marketplace on the website, but not everyone can upload product, because it is strictly a membership benefit to our members who sign up to become part of our community. Aside from that, we also have some other exciting benefits which we offer to entrepreneurs, which is more of creating visibility. We showcase our members' products during events, during exhibition, during conferences, during fairs, and sometimes we also offer entrepreneurs some invitations to some networking event where they can pitch their product and their services as well. And we have our Instagram live showcase where we have entrepreneurs or our members come to talk more about their experience as an entrepreneur and come to share more information about their businesses. So that is all for the membership drive, and I will urge those of us that are here to become members of our community to click on the website and sign up to become a member today. Thank you so much, and over to you, Cassandra.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Nosa. So we have come to the end of today's First Thursday edition. So as Nosa has rightly said, there are a lot and lots of benefits that you get to engage when you become a member of the African Food Changemakers. So what are you waiting for? Click the link and sign up now. so you don't miss out on the speaking engagement, on the visibility, the opportunities that we have prepared just for you. Okay, it's not just enough to attend these programs. There are a lot of benefits that we have prepared for you. So click the link and become a member today. As we come to the close of today's session, I just want to say thank you to everyone for taking out the time to join today's first Thursday edition. And I want us to turn on our videos and take a quick picture as we come to the close. So please turn on your video so I get to see your face. And let's just take a quick selfie. Okay. Ruby, I see your video is on. Okay, we have Efosa. Nice to see you. Hi. So let's just quickly take a picture. Team members, are we ready? Okay. Let's smile so the picture can come out nice. Okay, so I think we are good to go. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Till we come your way next time. My name still remains Cassandra Tayo. Have a nice day, everyone.